be looking at how to do a simple calculation that also includes a conditional statement. Okay, so I created a week 3 exercise 2 project. It's a console application in C#.NET framework. All code has to go inside the static void main between the two curly braces. So very first line, like I always do, I just want to say what is the purpose of this particular exercise. So here is the actual logic in plain English. So the challenge is this is going to be a simple app that will take the length and the width as input, and then step one will be the application will compare the length and the width. If the length and the width of this shape are equal, then it will say this shape is a square. Then it will calculate the area of the shape, which will be length times width. And that's it. Very simple program. So we'll be seeing a little bit of arithmetic, and then we'll also see the if condition. Okay, let's go. So we have to, the very first line is get the length of the rectangle. So that would be console.read line, and then that is what is going to give us the length. To read an input, we will use console.read line. So these are little tips so you can follow along. Very first thing we have to do is declare a variable to hold the length, int length. For now, let's assume they are all going to be whole numbers. Let's initialize them. Length equal to 0, width equal to 0. Okay, now let's say length. We are going to save length as. So read line is going to give us a string. Similar to how we did the prior exercise, the input we receive will be as a string, and then we have to convert it as integer. Okay, so I would like to prompt the user so they know what they are entering. So how about we say console.write line, enter the length. So that will prompt them, and then they enter the length. Then we can say enter the width. So this way it's not just like a blinking cursor. At least we know what the program is expecting. So we got the length and the width. Now we have to convert them. So length as integer will be int 32.parse length as text. So width equal to int 32.parse width as text. So we converted the length that was a text to an integer, width that was a text to integer. What is the next step? The next step is to compare the length and the width. If they are equal, then display the shape is square. How do we compare? So always we have to do this for if condition and then block. There is no else in our situation. So there is no opportunity for else. So what do we say with length is equal to, which is a double equal to width if they are equal, then we will do like a console.write line shape is a square because length and width are equal. There is no else condition. So this is called a single selection. Okay, there is no if condition, there is only there is no else condition, there is only if condition. What's the next step? We have to calculate the area of the shape. So we need a variable for that. Let's define a variable. area equal to length times width. Then what do? We do console dot write line area. So instead of just saying area, what we can do is we can say area of the shape is, we can say this way. Okay, this is one way of doing it. This is called as concatenation. So we are adding whatever content is here with whatever content is here. So let's add a space here, and then the last line should be console dot read key. Okay, area. Okay, so in this program what we've done is we've added a prompt. We are asking the app to ask the user to enter the length. Then we enter the length. Then it says enter the width. Then we enter the width. Then the next step is anytime you use read line, those are going to be, the values are going to be saved as texts, not integers. So without them being integers, you cannot multiply them. So for us to calculate the area, we have to have these two as integers or doubles, float, or one of the number data types. That is why we are doing this conversion here. Okay. That is what we are doing here. This is an if condition. It has no else condition. It is called a single selection, because that is the only time we want to say it's a square. Otherwise, it doesn't say anything. And then what are we doing? We are calculating the area, writing down what the area is. The new concept here is this concatenation. So we are this text, and then you add this. So what it will do is this content will be converted to text, and then they'll all be displayed together. Now let's run this program. The build will happen automatically. I don't see any red squiggly lines, which means there are no compilation errors. So remember that .NET framework is really huge, which means that sometimes to open your application it will take more time, sometimes to load your project it will take more time. So please bear with it. It's all for a good cause. Okay, there's my program. It's starting up. The very first line is going to show now, which is the name of the program. Okay, week 3 exercise 2, area of a rectangle. Enter the length. So that makes sense. So I'm going to say 34. Enter the width, 45. Area of the shape is going to be 1530. 34 is not equal to 45, so it does not tell me it's a square. That's good. Now let's run it one more time. Okay, now I'm going to enter the same value, 20, 20. Shape is a square, area is 400. Okay, what's missing here is the units. So let us add that. Enter the length in inches, width in inches. Okay, and then we can say the area is going to be this area plus square inches. That's the units. Let's run this program one more time. So whenever I say start, it is actually building and then starting. Okay, length in inches 20, width in inches 30. So the area is 600 square inches and it is not a square.